What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Now, before we get to Jeremy's interview, we're actually talking about two different deck lists. This is the deck list that he used to get top 4 at Arizona State, and as you see, it is a Flareon deck list, but this time around, it has a 1/1 Ninetales, which Ninetales has the ability Barrier Shrine, which each player can't play any stadium cards from his or her hand, and this is because Jeremy actually plays 2 Training Center in his deck to kind of beef up his Flareons and Leafeon, stuff like that, and that way they can never play a Verbing, they can't play Silent Lab, stuff like that. So the Ninetales seems pretty clutch to ask about that, of course. And as you see, he does play 2 Mr. Mime in the deck, and he talks about some in his interview. Besides that, the list, it's I want to say standard, but I mean every Flareon deck is pretty crazy. But hopefully you enjoy the interview, and thanks for watching. Okay, so for the New Mexico states, Jeremy actually switched decks. He decided to play a Manectric and Empoleon deck, but this is not his list. This is actually Kevin Baxter's list that he was working on, and as you see, it just uses Archie's Ace in the Hole to get Empoleons out to kind of draw through your deck, and he used Max Potion to basically cycle through Mega Manectric. So Mega Manectric has the attack Turbo Bolt, which does 110, and he attached two basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon, and of course you can attach this to another Manectric, and then next turn when they smack your Mega Manectric, you can retreat, Max Potion it, and then keep cycling that way. So that way you just have fresh Mega Manectrics every turn. And of course you can use Empoleon and or the Kyurem against like Donphan, Lander, stuff like that. But hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we're doing another states question answer video with Jeremy. And Jeremy, where are you from?
From Arizona.
Okay, and I know we're talking about 2 different states. So what's the first states you want to talk about?
All right, so it was Arizona State's 2 weeks ago,
Okay. And
then New Mexico this weekend,
okay.
this past weekend.
So how'd you end up doing in Arizona?
So Arizona, I decided to play Flareon,
Mm-hmm.
and I was really debating between like the deck I played for New Mexico and the deck and then Flareon, which I ended up playing, and it was really just I didn't want to play against like fairies or any like fighting, and I figured if I did play against those, I'd rather have Flareon.
True. So how'd you end up doing a Swiss?
Swiss, I was 2-1-1 early, and then basically I won out, but the round 6, so there's 7 rounds. Round 6, I ended up playing against a local here who was playing Night March, and we basically we go to time, but neither of us I'm playing down, so he's X2 and I'm X11, and like basically he ends up giving me the win. Like I show him like game in like 2 turns, but it was really awesome of him to concede to me, so that was pretty good. Wouldn't have made top cut without it.
Yeah, it's always nice when your opponents realize that you have the win and stuff like that, so then grant you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what were some of the decks that you played against in Swiss?
So I would have played Manectric, but went with Flareon. First round I played against Mega Gardevoir. Or no. First round I played against Donphan Groudon. So it would have been a terrible matchup. So I was really happy that I was playing Flareon, but I ended up tying with game in the hand next turn. So I was kind of mad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had probably about 8 minutes left for game 3, and I was playing so fast. Like, if you've ever played Flareon before, you need to do so much during your turn. So I'm like, Battle Compressor, search really quick, get my 3 cards. All right, Battle Compressor again, search really quick, get my 3 cards. Ultra Ball, Ultra Ball, Ultra Ball. Like, so turn 2, I was doing 180 with Flareon.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he couldn't do anything, but time was called just a turn 2 early, and I was a turn away from knocking out his Groudon for the last 2 prizes.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up 0-1-1, or 0-0-1, and then won the next 2 against like a Fairies, which, yeah, glad I played Flareon, and then another Donphan. Ended up losing to a good friend playing Yveltal Toad, where I didn't play Pokemon. Like, I started Egg, he laser Verbank game, and then next game I just like start Audino and he kills it in a few turns. Like, it wasn't really fun.
Yeah.
And then other than like that Night March, I played. I can't even really remember, but it was just. I think I played like a Manectric Toad. Ended up beating that and another like Yveltal, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So when you go to top 8, are you nervous? Are you excited?
Well, top 8 gave me my invite, so I was pretty happy about that.
Okay.
But then
Congratulations.
I was playing against Landorus Manectric deck. So it was like Mega Manectric and Landorus
Huh.
and Bats, I think. No Bats? Can't remember. But I was basically worried. I was like, well, I play Eevees. He plays Landorus. And then since I've been playing like Mega Manectric so much, I'm like, Mega Manectric's really good against Flareon. What do I do? Like, I can't one hit it.
True.
But with my list, I played the 1/1 Ninetales and 2 Training Center. And turn 2 on both of the top 8 games that I played against him, I get, like, I start Ditto, next turn, Vulpix, Ninetales with Training Center in play. So none of his guys can one hit my Flareons. And he always, like, just wishes he could, but, like, 110 doesn't really knock me out. And he ended up, like, game 2 having to, like, Land's Judgment, discard all his energies to knock out a Flareon.
30.
And then, so I go in like to the matchup really scared, but it ended up being really nice. And I play 2 mimes, so that really helped too. Like, I bench a mime turn 1, he like brings it up, does 60 like with poison, so it's going into his turn. And turn 2, I'm like, I'll drop second mime, and he just like flips out. He's like, I thought you only played 1. But then top 4 I ended up playing against my good friend David Reese, and he's playing Flareon, but uh, Ninetales is pretty much a dead card in Flareon Mirror Match. Like, training centers and Ninetales you don't really want to play.
True.
And he played like a 2/2 Slurpuff line, so it helped him be more consistent. But the games pretty much were so degenerate. His turn 1, he gets Archie's Empoleon, 3 EV, DCE, go. And I like started a random Pokemon and play another Pokemon, go. So he won that one.
Yeah.
And then game 2, it was the exact opposite. Like, he starts Jirachi. I start turn 1 Empoleon, 3 EV, DCE. And then game 3, it's the exact opposite again. Like, I start like an egg. And he gets turn 1 Empoleon, 3 EV, DCE, go. And I'm like, oh, this matchup.
Oh well. But still, top 4 is great, so congrats, sir.
Thank you.
Alright. So, you do play the 2 Mr. Mime. Was that just because of the Landers decks, or because of what?
It was Landorus. Yeah, like I'm always so worried when like your main attacker's like basic is able to get like knocked out by like a Golbat and 30 snipe or just like a Hammerhead when it's active because since it's weak.
Yeah.
So I was always really afraid of that.
Okay.
But I always really thought Landy Bats would be a bigger duck than it is because it's like nowhere.
Yeah. Kind of died off. But, so you played the 1/1 Ninetales. Was just to lock in the training center, or did you have any other things in mind?
It was mainly locked in the training center, but I also realized that Silent Lab is a big weakness for Flareon.
Mhm.
And so it basically, if I could get it out early enough, I would stop Silent Lab. Locking out Fairy Garden was amazing. When I played against the Mega Gardevoir deck, I basically made him had to like manually retreat 2 Mega Gardevoirs, and that was pretty sweet. Locking out Dimension Valley against Night March was really good too. Uh, like basically, a lot of the decks rely on stadiums. Like even like Rough Seas is a really big one, and it really hurts Flareon too. If you can't get like the knockout, like they can retreat Rough Seas and like heal off the guy completely.
Yeah, true.
And not having access to that's really big.
Okay. Now, you played the 2/2 split of Eevee. Did you ever want more of the other, or was the 2/2 split okay?
Well, I only played the 1 grass energy. So my friend who I lost to in top 4, his list played 4 of the energy evolution EVs and 2 grass energies. And he liked that a lot, but I still liked the 60 HP. Like, I thought it was better. Didn't die to just a Toad Muscle Band. So I thought it was fine. I did Signs of Evolution, like, to help me win a game, and that's pretty sweet.
Okay.
But I always seem to get like the 1 grass energy evolution when I needed it.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of the 1 grass, did you ever want any more than that, or was the 1 just perfect?
I think it's fine. I'd rather have the 2 waters. Like the two waters made it amazing with Empoleon because he's such a good attacker.
Now, after playing this tournament, would you make any changes to the list, or you think the list is pretty solid?
Uh, a third Audino would be pretty good. Um, I really love Ninetales. Like the beginning of the tournament, I was like, I shouldn't have played Ninetales. It didn't really do anything. But then like at the end and like top eight, I was like, oh my god, Ninetales is amazing.
Okay, that's very true. All right, so next weekend you're in New Mexico, and
Yeah, yeah, this past weekend.
okay, so and you decided to switch decks. So why'd you end up doing that?
So my testing partner and I, Drew Kennett, we've been testing this Manectric and Empoleon since Florida regionals, and we it's been like our baby. He first came up with the idea, and then like I've just been helping him like tweak it and stuff, and it's gone through like 7 different changes,
Hmm.
and we've even like outsourced a list of people to like try to get their insights on it. And we both played it for California states, and I ended up facing like two Mega Gardevoirs round 1 and 2, and then like a Groudon, and I'm like, I can't do anything. Um, but like he ended up like losing his winning in, or like tying his winning in, and
Hmm.
his opponent wouldn't scoop to him with like game in hand next turn. And like people don't understand like ties like when you're X1-1 and you tie, you're out of top eight. People don't understand that really.
True.
But we like saw it had potential, and then he's like, "Oh, I didn't use these cards," so we changed those cards, try something new. He played the deck in Arizona with like the new changes, and he went. He was 5-0,
Hmm.
scoops to a friend, and then ties last round, but then loses in top eight to Yveltal, which is kind of ironic.
Yeah.
Like when you play 4-3 Manectric, you should not lose the Yveltal, but he prized like 2 Manectric each game, and
Oh,
it was
okay.
bad. So we kept tweaking it again. Like we like this, we don't like this. Gave it to a few friends on the Hovercats to test it, and some of them played it week 3, but they didn't do that well. They ran into a lot of like Groudon and stuff like that. But their list, which is the one I guess you are going to show, is I don't know. It's very different. It's like acrobikes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so we tried that. Didn't really like it. We tried Great Ball, and that was actually pretty funny. Like it got Turn Napoleon a lot more than Agrobike, but we still didn't like it that well.
Yeah.
So we kind of went back to like the Arizona list, but took out like a few Pokemon, added in a Suicune, and went with that. And it seemed to work out pretty well.
Okay. So how'd you end up doing a Swiss?
So yeah, I played like 2 Yveltal, rounds 1 and 2. So I started out 2-0
Okay.
because when the deck sets up, you can't lose the Yveltal. And then I played against a Donphan where I never got Archie's Empoleon.
Mhm.
So like I take it to 3 games but lose. Like I've said this a bunch of times before, but if you get Archie's Empoleon, Donphan is the easiest matchup in the world.
That's true.
But if you never get Empoleon out, it is like the hardest matchup. Uh, so I played Donphan, then won. So I was like 3-1. Then I play another Donphan, ended up tying, and then I win the next 2. So I end up 5-1-1. And Drew, who was playing the same deck, he was 5-0-2.
Okay. So on top eight, are you excited that you did good with Manectric and Flareon?
Yeah, yeah, it was finally like yeah, something like we took this to the end and like finally did well with it. And we look at top eight, and Drew's playing against Night March, which is a good matchup for us, and then I'm playing against Yveltal Toad, which is a good matchup for us.
Hmm.
And like if I would have won, spoilers, I would have been playing Toad, which is a good matchup for us, and then like a Night March, which would have been a great matchup. But
Hmm.
we both end up losing. So he loses because his opponent, like he ends his opponent to 1, and then trump cards the next turn, and his opponent goes like Sycamore 3 Battle Compressor. Um, I ended up losing. Like it was streamed, and it was terrible. So like game 1, my Suicune gets donked by like laser Verbank, go. I draw, pass. He like attach energy to Baby Yveltal, Muscle Band, knockout. And game two, I set up so I can't lose. Like he doesn't take a prize, I think.
Okay.
And then game three, I have like a good turn one. It's not like Archie's. Like I missed the Archie's by like one card, I think.
Hmm.
It happens a lot. But I whiff the second energy to Assault Laser, a Yveltal.
Okay.
And that is just like a snowball effect of like me never hitting energy again. So I overrun probably about 6 times in a row. And so like I take 4 prizes. Like I kill like a Yveltal and a Jirachi in the same turn. But he brings up like a Yveltal with like 6 energies and a Muscle Band, and I can't win.
Oh man. Well, still top 8 with your baby deck is pretty amazing. So.
Yeah. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing if it's gonna be the play for Seattle and Utah regionals, which I'm going to both.
Okay. All right. And is there anything like spooky about your deck that some people might know about, or you want to keep it a secret?
Rough Seas is an amazing card.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Like, I mean, it definitely like has its auto losses. Like, Dawnfan's not the easiest, but like, Empoleon helps. Groudon is basically an auto loss.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat it.
Yeah.
Kyogre, people would think it's an auto loss, but it's more an auto win. You usually just take it to one game. Like, you just do one game.
Yeah.
Both of you have rough seas, but your guys, like, you have max potions, and they don't really.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually a pretty hard deck to play. Like, I know that, like, no decks this format is pretty hard to play, but adding in, like, Archies and then, I don't know, like, it's difficult.
Yeah, true.
The matchups are, at least.
Okay. Now, after all these states, how many championship points does that put you at?
I'm at 372, so I'm slacking a little.
All right. And what do you want to like hit? Like, what's your goal to hit points wise?
Okay, so the dream would be top 32 for nationals, and then do well enough at nationals to bump me in the top 16.
And,
so maybe I'll be at like 17th, and then like get enough to go into 16th place.
Yeah. And how many?
Because
oh, you're good.
Because I think, like, even though I have the Worlds invite, I still think it's like a glorified grinder, and I don't want to be in the grinders.
Yeah, true. All right. So, how many points do you think we'll need for the day 2?
Oh, geez. So last year I was at like 678, and I was like 12th.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be like 600, honestly.
Okay.
Because like they factor in like Worlds points and all that stuff.
Yeah, true. So you need 230 left to go.
but I think like for like 30 might get me into top 32.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, do you want to give me a shout out to anybody?
Drew Kennett definitely helped me test this whole year, and with his top 8, he actually got his invite also, so that's pretty nice.
Right. Congratulations to him.
And of course you doing all this stuff. And everyone.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of it, but no.
It's fine with me. Whatever, man. Whatever.
Cut your hair, you hippie.
Oh man, I can't. It wouldn't be a trademark then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Just get like a long mohawk. Just like shave the sides, and like really long mohawk.
It's so much work though. You gotta like spike it up every day and stuff like that.
No, don't spike it up.
Just like leave it flat.
Yeah.
Just like this, like all around.
Yeah.
No way. I'm good. But hi Jeremy, thank you so much for doing this.
All right. Thank you.
And good luck at regionals.
Thanks.
Alrighty, bye.